Howdy and welcome back to the CNC milling settings tutorial where ironically I would like to start at the end. Obviously when you open my CNC tutorial settings that I have a link down in the description, you're going to see this right away, but I want to talk about the last thing that you'll see, which is you need to ensure that for here with our machine we're using the Mach 3 mill, and you need to ensure that your NC extension is .tap. Just remember that those are important settings that have to be done before you post. Now let's go ahead and move into the design, and I want to go ahead also and just delete this 90-degree mini gusset that comes with the template. We're going to delete the component and we're going to delete the body. And then I want to drag in a job from a previous assignment that we had worked on last year. And we'll go ahead and walk through the process of how to mill that instead. So we'll bring that in, we'll say OK to the defaults. And then we'll go straight back to the manufacturer, and you can see this new setup has already tried to find the perimeter, but what I want to do is take this setup and right click on it and delete all of it. Okay, and I want to make an entirely new setup. Alright, so then it will find the perimeter of my object, and I'm going to say OK to that. Now I'm also going to delete this 90-degree mini gusset post from earlier because I will be doing a new post at the end. Alright, so here within my setup, I'm clicking that. I'm going to start with my 2D, and I'm going to start with the bore. So I would like to bore based on each of these three cylinders, the inside of those cylinders right there. And once I click that, I have to select my tool. It comes with a 1/8 inch flat end mill. And that is really the only tool that we have available right now. So that's what you need to click from the template. We're going to double click that. And we're going to select that tool. And press the blue select button. So that tool should be able to do this work correctly for us. And again, we're trying to bore, and we're trying to also next, you want to check your 2D menu, and you're going to come back and 2D contour. Rule of thumb on the 2D contour, all of your stuff needs to go inside work first. Okay? All of this inside work first. So the boring, that's the smallest interior component. I'm going to click those, boring, and then each of the contours that are inside, okay? So that is a 2D contour job that is going to calculate there. And then finally, the perimeter has to come in a separate contour command. So now my perimeter, and we're going to say OK to that. perimeter has to be done last. So it does order operation. And we can go in and we can simulate. Let's check this setup. We want to run a simulation of the entire setup. And we'll see how this simulation plays out. Let me get the all the way up to the top level there. We're going to simulate. And we will play the entire job, no issues found. So you can see it bores there, there, and there. And then it's going to come in and find each of those triangles. I'm going to increase the speed just a little bit. So it's contouring each of those triangles for us. Seems good so far. It's contouring the circles. Now it's going for the perimeter. This looks to be correct. So at this point in time, I should be able to exit the simulation and then post. So I want to post process, and I'm going to make sure that I call this something logical. Again, Mach 3 mill. Like I said, I have to check that that's still selected, and .tap. I have to check that that's still selected. I'm going to call this tutorial test. All right. And I also like to copy and paste that down here as well. If you wanted to call it bracket or whatever, something, you need to give it a distinctive name instead of random unnamed stuff. And then you click your post button and you will have a .tap file that is good to go. Whatever you design, I hope you enjoy the heck out of it.